Okay, well, you guys know that we've been working on joy this month, right? How have you been doing? So our first Sunday, we talked about felicity. Felicity, the highest form of joy possible. It was our new word to trick our minds, to make us be joyful, to try something new and different. And that first week, I talked about joy, and I talked about, how we can stay in joy, and it was about connecting with life and people without an agenda. It's connecting with any person, place, or thing, and expressing fully and being joyful. And so that week, have you ever seen a kid who's overtired and all they do is cry? That was me on the floor doing my PT, my physical therapy. Okay, joyful. I need to be joyful. What are those steps? Okay, all right, get back in yourself. Okay, number step, get back in yourself. So I'm getting back in my body. And okay, now step number 2, make yourself a priority. I'm priority. What was step 3? I could not remember step 3. What is step 3? I'm crying on the floor. Ring, ring. It's David. David called me. I get to talk to Hazel. I'm happy. This is good. Listen to a little 5-minute phone call. I'm happy. Hang up the phone. I said, I got to go find out what step 3 is.
Talk to Hazel.
It is connecting with people. Get back in your body. Make yourself a priority. Then connect with someone. So Spirit gave me the answer. So I've been going through those 3 steps. Needless to say, I had work to do. So those have been my priority. Last week, Patrick talked about bliss, and bliss is fabulous. Bliss is where joy flows beyond the limitations and erases boundaries and barriers. And I love the example of the marriage proposal. You can be in a relationship, be in coupleship, and you can be talking about, we should get married. Yeah, let's get married. And you're talking about it, and you're thinking about it, and you're planning it. But the moment the proposal occurs and the question is popped, will you marry me? Bliss sets in because all the boundaries are gone. Everything you planned is gone. All the thoughts of limitation are gone. Oh my God, yes! And as if you never have heard the words before, that you hadn't been discussing it for 3 years. Yes! And you're in bliss. That is truly love beyond the boundaries and barriers. Old married people are shaking their heads. But it's true. And the thing, marriage bliss, or in marriage bliss, we call it the honeymoon phase. And we always shake our heads and go, these kids need to get back in reality. They don't know what's happening. But do they really need to get back in reality? No. Why not just stay in that beautiful bliss with no boundaries, no limitation? Bliss. I think we can live there. I think we could live there if we chose. So it is sustainable. So this week I'm talking to you about ecstasy. By definition, not the drug, you guys. I see you back there. By definition, ecstasy is a joy beyond thought, and it is a joy beyond self-control. It is a trance-like joy, ecstasy. It is beyond the perception that I have of life and moves me into a state, to me, of oneness with God. It moves me into a state of oneness. Ecstasy is really about moving from relationship, which we do enjoy, we're connecting. In bliss, we're still connecting, we're removing boundaries. But ecstasy is oneness. It moves us into this state of oneness. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it to get you there, okay? And y'all, everything that I'm going to say to you is just my experience. So you're not going to find it in a book of instructions. The Bible does not speak of ecstasy. None of them do. So this is based on my understanding and my experiences. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. You guys out there too. So let's talk about love. People always say, I feel God in this way or that way. I feel the love of God. And I do too. I feel the love of God. And one of the main things they feel the love of God in is nature. When I feel the love of God in nature, nature's literally feeding me. I'm walking out, it's feeding me love, it's feeding me its energy. Do you realize that trees are actually designed to absorb your low frequencies? So if you're depressed and you walk into a forest, that go out a little way, get away from electrical things and away from stuff. Your emotional low bottoms, your trials, your sorrows will literally start disappearing, but the vibration of the trees are absorbing it. They normalize you. So nature is feeding you, it's gifting you, and it's fabulous and wonderful, but we are still entering into an honor with a life force, and we're into relationship with it. You got it? When I look at the stars, I don't know how you guys are, but when the sky is dark, which it isn't often here, but if it's dark and you can see the stars, to me it is a wonderment. And it's like they're teaching me. I feel teaching. I feel like I belong. I feel like I have a place in the world. We had the opportunity many years ago to be in South America, walking around at night in Brazil. You would be shocked at how many stars they have. It's not like here. I mean, it's just shocking because we were in a small little town away from the cities. Shocking how many stars. And you just want to stay there and look at them because that's what they do for me. They feed me. But again, I'm in relationship with the stars and I'm being fed by the stars and I feel oneness. Got it? Does anybody else have those feelings? Okay. And then with Jesus Christ, when I am connecting with Jesus, I feel such a deep love and companionship, and he has compassion on my humanality, my human stuff. He has love for me no matter where I am. There is a companionship and a compassion and a deep sense of, I got you, girl. I got you. But do you see? Am I still in relationship? Still in relationship with him. When you go into the spaces of God, when you go into the space through meditation or some euphoria spiritually, and you can feel the oneness, that is when you move into the space of ecstasy. There is no longer boundaries, there are no longer borders, there is no longer you, there is the God I am, I am. God, I am one with the I am. It's this space where everything is opened. And even if you're a devout meditator and you meditate every day, we do not always hit that space. Sometimes we're in learning spaces. Sometimes we're going on journeys. Sometimes we're doing this. We're healing our bodies. We're doing all these things. But when you hit that space, you feel like you're there forever. And it may be 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. But it feels like forever because who you are has moved into this space of one with God. And when you come back into your physicality, the joy of who you are is so palatable, so measurable. You are changed. The joy at who I am. Did I have a problem a minute ago? I don't know. I can feel oneness. Do you know what I'm talking about? I know we've all had it little bits and pieces. I mean, if you had it once a year, it's good. You're doing good. Have it once every 5 years. You're doing good. We have to be in such a state of receptivity for that to occur. But that is what ecstasy is about. It is about moving into a space of joy that is beyond your human mortal ability to respond, to interact, to anything, to even talk. You don't talk in that space. There's no thought. It's a thoughtless space of all. You guys got me? Okay. So, joy beyond the senses, we lose all human perception of self, and the connectedness becomes the oneness. So we do it through meditating, through lifting through the veil. We can do it in healing. Sometimes when you're on the table, you have a Reiki. You're having a Reiki or a crystal sound or a color, and all of a sudden you're taken into that space, and it's like, awareness. It happens not unfrequently on a Rohan table. When the conscious mind realizes a thought that is wrong and their spirit is there, it can go and explode the perception so they feel God. And it happens. It's when our minds are ready to receive that oneness. You guys got me? Okay. I wanted to share, in the oneness, there's complete peace. We're moving into a deeper joy, a joy that is beyond what the world can give. The world can't give you this. This is what I'm trying to say. The world cannot give you this. It's a spiritual connection. I want to share a couple of things with you guys. Are you with me so far? I want to share these stories because I want to anchor in the idea that it is a spiritual connection. It is a spiritual connection. As a minister, I've had the blessing of being with folks as they're transiting, immediately after they transited, before they transit. So the experience of being with someone immediately after they transit is amazing. When you move into the space and a soul has left, normally there is such a deep peace in the room. You may not feel their soul. You may even feel a little bit of the void that they're gone, but there is such a deep... If they've left, these are all... I've always been with people who left because it was their time and they were in agreement to go. These are not traumatic passings. These were by design. So there's a piece of just this beautiful peace. And we had the opportunity, Patrick and I, and I know Betty won't mind me sharing, so I'm going to share because Betty gave me permission. You guys know Betty. She was an older woman that came to the church for years, and she was just the most generous, loving, wonderful woman in the world. And she had had a heart attack, stroke, and she was non-responsive. They had her on life support. And, of course, we loved her so much. And, they were friends. She was like in our heart. So they held the pulling of the life support until I got there. Patrick was already there. And we were standing outside with her 2 children and grown adults. And Patrick and I were there, and we had this sweet, sweet nurse. And she said, okay, they're going to pull it now. She wasn't even involved. But she walked by the door and came back to us and said, it's happening now, go. Because when they pull life support, it could last a long time. It's happening now, go. We went in. Oh, my God. There was a column of light that was over the table, her hospital bed. It was so strong. Of course, her children are crying because this is the last time they're going to see their mom, right? They're crying. They're in grief. They can't feel it. Oh, my God. There was nothing but pure ecstasy in that column of light. I couldn't be in it, but I could feel it. And I was on the outside going, oh my, you guys, can you feel her? Oh my God, it's amazing. Feel her. And they're going, no, and they're crying. Okay, I'll shut up. Oh my God, Patrick, can you feel it? It's amazing. And I was shocked at the sense of oneness in that space. There were angels, but it was one. And that Betty spirit was so in ecstasy as she lifted. She was so happy. So happy. Because she was going home, and she was in her 80s. She was going home to God. She did her life. And she was going home. She was ready. She was receptive. And the whole force of the angelic kingdom was there with her. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever been able to see. And it just reinforced to me how strong spirit is. We think this world is real. We think this is real. Oh my God. When you're talking about the energy that comes in that space of oneness with God, it is more real than anything. It was more real than anything in that room, than the nurses that were running around, the machines that were going off. And I'm saying out loud, can you feel it? And the nurses are completely ignoring me. They're not answering me. And it lasted probably 4 to 5 minutes. You remember. You can't forget. 4 to 5 minutes of pure divinity. It was ecstasy personified. And in that energy is that oneness with God. You guys? So we know, based on that experience, the beautiful depth of Spirit and Spirit's love for us, our oneness with Spirit, God, our Father, our Mother. We know that. Jesus Christ's energy with us, we know that. How do we take that ecstasy and try to find little pockets for it here? Little pockets when we can just let God be one with us. Let God be one with us. When we can give up the agendas, give up the whatevers. Thy will be done. Little pockets. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, it is Thanksgiving, and I know gratitude is the highest form of unconditional love. So being grateful is our first step. Being grateful for this and that and this and that. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my work. I'm grateful for what I do. We've been around 33 years. You know, I recently had to come back into the children's program because everybody was retiring from it. So I'm doing the children's program now. And there was a little crunchy around me. Do I really have time for this? You know what Spirit said to me? You haven't done it for 33 years. The first half you did. No, 32 years. I did the first year. The first year you did. You haven't done it for 32 years. We need your energy back down there. Shut up. Okay. The spiritual reality is more important, stronger. And if we follow it, we open the door to the bliss, to the connecting oneness with God. So don't you know that when I ask what the lesson is, there is going to open a door for me to feel the intention, the love of God moving through me to do the work that needs to come out. That was kind of a human look at it. But when we know and can ask to remember that joy, the great joy of being one with God, you will be used as a channel of God love, but it will feel like a blessing to you. Got it? Okay. There are so many other stories of people that have passed. We had one member that passed, and it was on a Saturday, and we were able to, I think 10 or 15 people were at his house just like that. And we were with his family, and literally he was there. The angels were there, he was there, we're talking to him, and we can feel the field that he's in, and he was in a field of ecstasy. He was happy, he was so happy. The family was in loss. They couldn't, but he could communicate for that moment. And then he had to lift up. But it was the most love-filled joy that he was sharing. How do we get our connection human? Bringing it in our human nature. All right. Beyond our natural ability, beyond our self-control, beyond our control. Ecstasy. So joy is the pleasure, it's the connectedness. We can have connected with higher self, God, other people. Bliss is that beautiful extreme happiness, being in spiritual joy beyond the boundaries and barriers. Ecstasy, one with God. We need joy every day to connect with life. We need bliss to expand our consciousness. We need joy every day to connect with life. We need bliss to expand our consciousness to take us beyond the borders and boundaries. And ecstasy, when we can lose ourselves in the oneness, we can feel the love of the universe. We came from the ecstasy, and we are returning to the ecstasy. We have to let go of our judgment of self. We have to make God's opinion of me more important than anything else and move into that oneness. So easy, isn't it? Yeah, okay, well, let's just go within real quick. Do a quick centering. Just put your feet on the floor and feel that beautiful love of God pouring over you. And I want you to see yourself just being hugged and safe in a beautiful column of light. Take a breath. Through your heart. And imagine that you can move into the sacred garden in your heart chakra, in the center of your heart, middle of your chest. Just imagine that you can go into that garden of your heart. And this is your safe space. This is where you are you. And just take a moment to look around and feel. You may be greeted by angels. There may just be things growing. Whatever you see is perfect for you. I want you to move in deeper. And see an inner, beautiful space where there's a golden column of light right in the center of your heart. And you may not have ever noticed it before. But this is the space that you can step in to begin to feel your oneness with God. So I want you to just gently move toward it. If you don't want to step in, just feel the energy around it. Put your hand in it, feel the vibration. And if you're ready, go ahead and step in. As you do, allow all thoughts just to be still. Allow judgments to melt. Be in the energy for a moment. Breathe. Father, Mother God, it is our intention to know our oneness with you. And we surrender to that intention. Now step out of the column of light, back into your heart center. Notice the energy and vibration of everything in your heart. Just make a mental awareness of the difference between the column of light and your heart center. And know that you can come back anytime. Spend time there. Allow that connection, that oneness. Feel a sense of joy moving through you as you make your way back through your garden, coming back into this moment. There are things to do, coming back into this space. Feel your gratitude. Father, Mother God, thank you for my life. Thank you for all the steps that lead me to that oneness with you. I choose ecstasy. One with your spirit. And I thank you. And just gently allow your awareness to come back out of the heart center until you can just sense the column of light. Sense the chair that you sit on. And realize that you are spirit. Above all, beginning and end, you are spirit. And God, we thank you for this moment. And when you're ready, you can just very gently open your eyes. Bring yourself back fully. Now, I know it doesn't matter what you sensed or felt in the light. What matters is you stepped in or you touched it. And so as you're going about your life, your day, you're going to be led into situations that will open your heart to feel that greater oneness with God. And that is our goal. Now next Sunday, Mr. Fuller is closing out our series, and he's going to bring you back into your human selves. How to bring greater joy into the world in which you live. But between now and then, let's get some spiritual food going. Make it a lot easier. Say, yay, God.